Without further ado, I'd like to welcome up Stephen Geddes from Inspiring the Future to just say a few words. Please, a big warm welcome to Stephen.
Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Stephen Geddes from the Tertiary Education Commission. So basically what we do is we are the government agency that looks after the funding of universities, polytechs, private training establishments, and we also have the government's remit for the careers aspect to look after careers. So we run a program called Inspiring the Future, which is aimed at students at school in years 7 to 10. So that's old school, kind of Form 1 to Form 4. It's designed to connect those students with adults in the real world, actually in careers, doing jobs. And so we call these adults or working people role models. And schools host Inspiring the Future's events where these role models share their career stories with these students. They talk about what they do in their job, how they got there, maybe some of the qualifications or training that they've needed to do, some of the challenges that they've faced along the way. So it really gives those students a really good insight into a career journey, and also highlights that you can be all over the show and do this job, and I ended up here rather than I just followed this straight line. So everybody's got a different career story, so it makes for a fantastic story. So the objective of Inspiring the Future is really to broaden young people's career aspirations and to challenge stereotypes of what young people, the boys, girls, or whatever it might be, might go on to do in the future. So the program is designed to help deliver the curriculum for schools, and we offer both in-person and online events. And we also offer pre- and post-event activities that schools can do to help that discussion around careers. So why create Inspiring the Future program at all? So international research shows that children form aspirations for their future from as young as 7 years old. And those aspirations are linked to outcomes later in life. So the Tertiary Education Commission conducted some New Zealand specific research with nearly 8,000 students aged between 7 and 13. And we got them to draw what they wanted to do when they grew up. And the results were somewhat alarming because we found very narrow careers aspirations, with more than half of those students, so around about 4,000 of those students chose just one of 9 jobs. Okay, so think of all of the jobs out there, and half of those students, just one of 9. Pretty phenomenal, really. And as you'll see on the screen, hopefully everybody can see that, the most popular choice by a long shot was professional sports person at 18%. And following that, you've got things like vet, policeman, teacher, around 4 or 5%. Things that you see, out on the street or on TV, and somewhat, I'm not sure if this is alarming or not, but social media YouTuber / influencer was at around 4 or 5% as well, kind of at a similar level to those teachers or those policemen type of thing. So young people see that type of new career as a viable career option. For us, that's kind of thinking, oh, I want to be a movie star or a pop star. Looks quite attractive, but very few people actually make a real career of it. But people see these young people see these as genuine options, and so Inspiring the Future is a way to expose these young people to all sorts of careers, and to see what's realistic, what's an opportunity, what's new for them, because many of them won't know about many of the careers which they're exposed to during this program. So the research showed that boys are 4 times more likely than girls to aspire to be engineers, that girls are 10 times more likely to aspire to be teachers, and Māori students were less likely to aspire to go into STEM-related roles. So children knew about these jobs that they drew from someone that they knew doing the job or from the media. And as we heard from our young people today, sitting up here earlier, they all mentioned family as being a supporter or an influencer of their decision. Okay, so when you think about it, the children probably know what you do and maybe what your close friends do, or what they see on TV. And when they're involved with sports, and they're watching professional sports on the weekend, that's a nice easy one to see, and probably why they think professional sports is an option for them. And so it's really about just getting them to learn and to interact with people that are doing different things, and to make that maybe a possible career option. So I've got a short video which goes for about 2 minutes and gives an overview of the Inspiring Future program, so it gives you a wee bit of break from me talking. So hopefully this is going to play and there's going to be sufficient sound. And hopefully we don't get a YouTube video, a YouTube advert for 15 seconds. Okay, so it looks like that video is not going to run. That's all right. So basically what happens is schools get in touch with 6 to 8 people from the what we call role models, and they could be doing all sorts of things. It could be a plumber, software engineer, architect, vet, whatever it could be. And they come into the school and they appear on stage. And they're just dressed in clothes which gives no indication of their role, and students are asked. Students ask these role models 20 questions, 20 yes/no questions, or maybe questions, and so they go through and they say, for example, do you work with young people? And role model 1 says yes. Role model 2, no, sometimes yes. So they go through a range of 20 questions which the students make up. We provide them with some kind of starter questions to kind of get the ball rolling, but ideally the students kind of come up with their own questions. Do you work with technology? Are you outside? Do you work with animals? Did you need to go to university or polytech? And things like that. So and after these 20 questions, they get a feeling for what these people are doing. And so they're like, okay, the role models leave the stage and then they kind of discuss amongst themselves. Oh, I think role model number 1 worked at McRae's. They talked about big machinery and they talked about living locally or something like that. At the end of it, the role models come back on stage and they do what they call a reveal. So they might be wearing work-related gear. So as a miner, I might have my hat on, my high-vis stuff. As a vet, I might come along with a prop. And then you basically hear 2 or 3 minutes about what those people do, and then they break out into smaller groups around with those students so they can have more of a one-on-one. So it's a really good way to expose people to different career options. We have had students at school here in Oamaru participate through St Kevin's, and it was a really good event, really well done, and we had about 6 to 8 role models. We've had quite a few other events run throughout Otago. What we need to make this program really work is A, more schools involved, and B, more role models to really build that breadth of the database so schools can pick out role models that are appropriate to their event. So as I said before, either in-person events or online. If schools chose online, then they can access role models right throughout the country. So I apologise that the video did not run, but we do have a website which is inspiringthefuture.org.nz. You can contact me for further information, or please feel free to contact Business South, either Rebecca or Hayley, who runs My Next Move. So apologies, I didn't beat the buzzer, but happy to talk afterwards if you have questions. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Stephen. It's a fantastic program, and you're getting lots of engagement, which is absolutely brilliant.